What's going on YouTube? Uberman here. First thing I'm going to start out with today is number one, that, and number two, that, and number three, that. I know they're there, okay? I know it is ghetto, I know it is tacky, I do not care. I couldn't sleep because the sun was just shining through and I was pissed off and I just in a blind rage thumbtacked anything I could over the windows. Now, moving on. Let's get into this. This video, obviously, because of the title, is going to be about the cost of owning and operating a vehicle, doing ride sharing. This is going to involve depreciation, expenses such as fuel costs, the regular maintenance associated with operating a vehicle, IRS deductions, and what you can truly expect to make doing Uber, what the true cost of using your vehicle for Uber is going to be. And then at the end, you can decide if it's a profitable business for you. Now, I get tons and tons and tons of messages and emails from people telling me that you cannot, under the current conditions especially, you cannot operate a vehicle for Uber and make a profit. And I disagree. I do. And the reason I disagree isn't because I just magically decided I disagree. I disagree because I know how much I've made working between 6 and 9 hours a day, and that's without Uber's subsidy. Okay, for most of the areas that got these huge price cuts, there's a lot of you, probably more of you out there have not seen price cuts. So for you, that doesn't even apply. You're still getting pretty decent rates. But for the ones of us that did get severe cuts where we're down to like 70 and 80 cents per mile, the Uber subsidy is really helping with that. And even without the subsidy, I have found that driving for Uber, more hours and more miles obviously, but I can still survive off of it. I can definitely still earn a living and pay my bills. So I'm going to jump into this for you guys. We're going to start with your car, obviously, because this is going to be your investment. And typically a car is not considered an investment. An investment is something you would expect a return on. A car is not something you get a return on. A car is something like myself. I went out and I bought a car and it's $24,900. I will not get back $24,900 or see any profit from that car if I just bought it, used it to go to the grocery store, to church, or whatever people use their car for, and then turn around and sell it. You will lose money on it. There's just no way around it. It's a little bit different. I consider a car an investment when it is your source of income, which is exactly what we're doing here in the rideshare industry. Our vehicle, in my opinion, is a huge investment because you are going to see a fairly decent return on that vehicle. Okay, so let's get started. We're not going to use a $24,000 car as our average car because I highly doubt that the majority of people driving for Uber are driving around in their $30,000 car. Okay, and I won't either for much longer. I am getting something more reasonable to be doing Uber in. Just don't want to use my nice car much longer. The only reason I'm using it is because I bought it. And that's just the way it is. I don't have another car, but I will be getting one. So we're just gonna use an $8,000 car. In fact, I would be willing to bet most of the people out there are probably in $5,000 and $6,000 cars. But let's keep the expenses high, and let's keep the expected income low. So that way, you're not going to go out there and be shell shocked and find out that, man, I didn't make close to what I was supposed to, and my expenses are more than they were supposed to be. Let's keep things simple. Let's keep things to where the goal on paper is actually attainable, easily attainable. Okay? Let's not get our expectations too high. I've already gone through this whole thing and I've got it written down here to save on time because I know my videos tend to run long. So we're going to go with an $8,000 car. Now you can pay for this car however you want. Go and pay cash for it, but the majority of people that are going to be ride sharing for Uber are not going to have $8,000 in cash. So they're going to need to pay it out over, a typical loan is what, 48 months? Okay. So you're looking at $166. I lost where I wrote it down, but it's somewhere on here. $167 a month. Okay. So that will obviously come off of what you make per month from Uber. You got to pay $167 a month for your car. Now, car insurance, I'm not going to include that. Car tags, title, tax, transfer fee on the car, I'm not including that either. Because the bottom line is whether you drive for Uber or not, you have to pay these things on your car. Okay, so you're not going to throw this in and add it to the expense of doing Uber, because it's not. These are things you have to pay for anyway. So we are not including them. Now, on average, you can expect to drive about 30,000 miles a year. That's very reasonable. It's not outrageous, but yet it's not too conservative either. And I would say very, very reasonably, if you're driving those kind of miles, you should easily be able to bring in $400 a week, which is $1,600 a month. Now, if you're bringing in $400 weekly, and you definitely should be, okay? You're looking at bringing in $19,200 a year before any of these expenses. That's not bad for ride sharing, guys. That's pretty decent. The next thing we're going to have is the IRS, taxes, because taxes take a huge chunk out of what you make. So let's throw that in there. The IRS for 2015's deduction is 57.5 cents per mile. If you drive 30,000 miles in a year, the IRS is going to give you a deduction of $17,250. Now that is not money they're going to give you, but they're going to give that to you to take off of what you would pay in your taxes, okay? So if you make $19,200 and they give you a deduction of $17,250, what I'm saying is you're not going to have to pay any taxes. Now, on a state level, maybe, I don't know, that's going to vary state to state, and I can't answer that for you, but chances are you will not end up paying taxes with a deduction like that. That's huge. That deduction means that all of the money you made in that year is yours to keep in your pocket. You don't have to give it to Uncle Sam. That is your money. They give you that for things like depreciation. Okay, so I want to clarify this, okay? The deduction that they give you is for things like depreciation and vehicle maintenance. But just to make sure things are more than fair, we're going to add the cost of depreciation, maintenance, and everything to this sheet here. To the video, we're going to add those, even though the IRS already gave you a deduction for them to help you cover those things. We're going to do it anyway, because the fact is you do have to pay out of pocket for these expenses. Okay? Now, if you're looking at 4 years, which is the typical note on a car loan, we're going to try to keep things on that level, on a 4-year mark, about the lifespan that you should expect your car to be going, about the time you need to be getting rid of it after 4 years, okay, truthfully. If you're ride sharing at 30,000 miles a year, you're looking at, 115,200 miles in 4 years, even a new car. It's definitely time to be considering letting it go. So, we've got $19,200 a year. We've got a $17,250 deduction, which comes out to you're going to be bringing in $76,800 in 4 years. Your car payment is $167 a month over 4 years, which is $8,000 for the car. Very reasonable. Now, your car is going to depreciate. Okay, in that 4 years, it won't be worth anywhere near $8,000. So conservatively, I used to own a dealership. Conservatively, an $8,000 car in 4 years with high miles, $1,500. Okay, as long as it's still in reasonable looking and running condition, almost any car that has a working heater, the windows will roll down, and it'll get you from A to B in a safe manner without smoking and clunking, and you'll get $1,500 out of it. Okay, I was very conservative on this figure. So you lose $6,500 on that car. Okay, just gone out the window. $6,500 is gone in 4 years. Now, in maintenance cost, if you're meticulous like I am I'm talking, I don't just change my oil, guys. There's more to a car than oil, and if you're going to be ride sharing, you need to know this. Transmission fluid, you need to change it. I don't care if like my maintenance interval on my transmission, service for life, never needs anything. Bull. There's no such thing as a transmission that's good for life. What they mean by that the fluid is good for life, is it means the transmission fluid is good until the transmission breaks. Okay, fluid breakdown and overheating is the number one cause of transmission failure. It overheats because it loses its viscosity. Okay, the fluid breaks down and burns to a crisp, which burns up the clutches. Anyway, not going to get into the whole lesson on how transmissions work. Guys, it is exceptionally important that when you're using a car in this manner, you need to have all of your car's fluids serviced regularly. That means brakes. Brake fluid needs flushed, coolant needs flushed, oil and filter needs changed regularly, air filter regularly. If you have a rear-wheel drive, your rear differential needs to be serviced. Power steering fluid needs to be serviced if you have that. Coolant flushes, tranny flushes. I know I'm repeating some of those, but this is for everything, okay? This is for everything. If you meticulously maintain your car like I do, you're looking at an average of $100 a month. Now, there's going to be sometimes you go to get a $300 tranny flush. It ain't going to be $100, but per month, it's an average about $100. Okay? So, if you're looking at $100 a month to maintain your car, it's not bad. It's really not bad. You're talking about $4,800 over the course of 48 months. So, you've got $76,800 income. Subtract $6,500 for depreciation on your car. Subtract $4,800 for maintenance. It leaves you with $65,500 over the course of 4 years. Profit. But let's not forget gasoline. Gasoline, I mean, it's huge. Okay, if you drive $30,000 a year, if you drive 30,000 miles a year, and you drive over the course of 4 years, you're going to drive 115,200 miles. It's not bad. That's not bad at all. Now, some cars get 36, 40 miles a gallon. Some cars get 16 miles a gallon. My car is a mid-size car, and with the kind of driving I'm doing, I'm averaging between 25 and 26 miles a gallon. So what I did is I kind of found a figure nice and happy in the middle here. I think most cars out there should easily be able to do 25 miles a gallon. That's what I did. 25 miles a gallon divided by 115,200 miles comes out to 4,608 gallons of gas. Now, in my area, which is the only area I can go by as far as gas prices, it's $1.69 a gallon. Yours will vary. You can just put your own number in. 4,608 miles. Multiply that by the cost of gasoline to get the true cost of gasoline for deduction off of your income. Okay, here it's $1.69 a gallon. So that comes out over 4 years, $7,787.52 in gas. Now, we had $65,500 as our profit after everything. Now subtracting gasoline in the amount of $77.87, I am left with $57,713. Now that's it. That's after everything. That's maintenance. That's depreciation. That's gasoline. That's everything, guys. So what that equates to is a profit of approximately $14,428 a year, or if you want to go monthly, $1,202 a month profit. Is that a lot of money? No, it's really not. $1,200 a month is not a lot, but guys, in my area, minimum wage is $7 and change an hour. There are people out here that after taxes and working their behinds off in a really hot restaurant, behind a grill, or whatever it is that some of these people have to do for this kind of money, burning themselves on grease. And I mean, there are worse jobs that pay less. All right, most minimum wage jobs here, people bring home pay between $600 and $700 a month. So $1,200 a month to drive people around and have a more professional job, I think that's a pretty good deal. And like I said, this is all very conservative. This is very, very, very conservative. So, you know, you can definitely make more than this. And if you maybe skip a couple oil changes and a transmission flush here and there, you can save some of your maintenance costs. But I don't recommend that, because in the long run, you're probably going to end up replacing something that should have been maintained, and that's going to cost a whole lot more. So the point of the video, guys, now that we're at 15 minutes, is I have right here on paper, I've just given you guys all of the numbers. This is definitely profitable. You can work more and make more money. Guys, that's the end of the video. I don't know what else to say. Like, comment, subscribe, hate, do whatever you do, but here it is. Be safe and Uber on.